Welcome back to the Listen Nissim Show. I'm your host Nissim, and today I have a pretty cool guest. His name is Judah Fire. How you doing today?
Thank God, Nissim. How are you?
Good, thank God is right. Thanks for joining us today. I'm actually with you in your studio in LA.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. What's your log line?
Okay, I'm known as Judah Fire. I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop, a lot of rap, and I figured that I can bring that into expression from all the Torah and all the knowledge that I've gained through my life, that I can elevate the consciousness of the world through my lyrics.
Tell us a little bit about the background of your family. Where are your grandparents from?
Okay, so I grew up in Israel, in the city of Bat Yam. It's kind of like poverty a little bit, and there's a little bit of a lot of things going on in Bat Yam. If you know Bat Yam, like everybody's like, oh, Bat Yam, right? Like if you're in Israel, you know Bat Yam, you know what it represents. So yeah, I was growing up in that neighborhood. I was kind of secular in that time. I wasn't really into like exploring the Torah, and like I was like still believing in God. I worship God the way I thought was right for me, and so on. When I moved here, I was like 16. I moved to Arizona, Tucson, and over here I started to explore more of the Jewish side of myself, because I was away from the land of the Jewish people, and now I'm in the land, in like a foreign land. So now I was thinking, okay, so what makes me Jewish? All these questions pop up. Start learning more, and once I gained that knowledge, I wanted to bring out all that knowledge into the music, because that knowledge became part of me. So I want to bring myself fully into.
What was the reason for moving to Arizona?
Honestly, my family wanted to move. They knew some people here. Like also some financial opportunities that came up for them. And I was 16, so I didn't really have a say in the matter. So yeah.
Where are your grandparents from?
My grandparents are from the Republic of Georgia. Used to be old Russia, and then it fell apart into its own state. Now it's called the Republic of Georgia.
Are you also speaking Russian?
Yeah. Yeah, I speak Russian, yeah.
Do you also rap in Russian?
No. That's my weakest language. I rap in Hebrew though also. I have a couple of songs. I'm just gonna start writing more in Hebrew now.
What was the musical life like in your home growing up? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, music was a big part of my life. My mom is a piano teacher, so like she always played the piano. Her mom was a piano teacher. Always had like music being played live in the house. Students come into the home and learn and stuff like that. Picked up the guitar when I was 16. Always with friends and the family. Like music is always involved. I don't think I'm special in that. I think everybody who lives in this world, music is very important to them. Yeah.
What about Jewishly? What was going on Jewish-wise in your family growing up?
Okay. I mean, we're very secular. Like, we didn't really do much. We went to synagogue, like, in their, like, most important holidays. But that's it. We didn't even have, like, a special dinner on Shabbat or anything like that. No kiddush, nothing. But I was brought up with faith in God. I was brought up, like, with the knowledge of God. But not specifically, like, Torah knowledge. Yeah.
So when was your first exposure to this Torah knowledge?
I mean, I still had some, but when I moved here, I started learning more. Like I was like 17, 18, started keeping Shabbos, and that's where I started going.
Are you talking about Tucson or LA?
Tucson, Arizona, yeah.
Was there a Kiruv organization or something?
No, but there's online. There's an online place, and I would go through these websites, and I also had like these Christian friends, and they were like, "Yo, you need to convert" and stuff like that, and they would like come to the church and everything, And I went to church with them a few times just to check it out and see like what they're talking about, because I'm like, yo, this is part of the culture. Let me check out the culture. I wouldn't like pray or anything, but like they're very like passionate about it, and they're like, you see, it says it in your book that you should be like believing in this guy and everything. So I had to go online and check out what my Torah is saying about it, because I don't know the answers. Like I didn't grow up with knowledge. I just knew, hey, I'm Jewish. Like I know I'm Jewish, and that's something that was like, even though you don't have knowledge, but you have knowledge that's beyond like just intellect, if you know what I mean. Like it's things that you just know. Like I'm Jewish. Nothing's gonna change that.
I also had an experience in college where I wanted to check out what it's like in church, and I waited in the line to collect the wafer, the cookie that is supposed to be Yeshko's body.
Yeah.
But I didn't eat it, so when I finally got to the front of the line, he gave me the cookie, and I just turned around to go back to my seat, and I feel a tap on my shoulder, and he said, "Excuse me, are you Catholic?" I said, "No." He said, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take that back, but I can offer you a blessing." And he just gave me a blessing. But I mean, of course, at this point, I won't do something like this again, but it is interesting to have these experiences and to be able to relate our current lives to that lifetime.
Yeah, you gotta have the ups and downs. Otherwise, it's not art. It's not anything. Like you think about a movie, it's ups and downs. Everything. If you have life, you have the ups and downs of it. Otherwise, it's just stagnant, and it's no like drama in a movie or in the art. Like you have a song, you have like different ups and downs in the song. Different instruments and conveying simultaneously different emotions and different realities. It's what makes art. I think what's beautiful is that if we can take, the downs and handle them well, so then we can bring like something that's valuable when we have the up, and not just like the same stuff. So like my goal is to reach higher consciousness and convey that to the music, so other people will be able to reach that higher consciousness as well through my music.
What's your strategy for that?
Well, learning. I think like learning Hasidus, specifically like the mystical and the deeper aspects of Torah. Like all about the Messiah. And that's what, when I internalize the messages of Hasidus and it becomes part of me, then it becomes part of my music. And that's when then through that I reach the higher consciousness, then the microphone is going to convey that.
Share with us some of these higher consciousness ideas.
Well, we have the concept of the Messiah. It's kind of universal. Everybody has different ways of saying what the messianic world is and what's going to happen. And that's beautiful. That means like the world is ready. So it's like, okay, so this religion thinks this is the Messiah, and the other religion thinks that the Messiah is going to come that way. But at the end of the day, like when the Messiah comes, it's like, okay, we were wrong. It was this guy, but we know what a Messiah is, So it'll be beautiful. Like, I think but now I think to convey like how we bring the Messiah is what like Hasid is trying to open up, like our vision, our minds.
Can you talk about your first exposure to Hasidus?
Tucson, Arizona. We just go in there to this synagogue and for Shabbat, and the rabbi would have Hasidus classes there. So,
was it a Chabad house?
Yeah, Chabad on River in Tucson, Arizona.
So when you were in high school, what was going on in your mind, musically, Jewishly, career-wise?
I was in high school. Well, I wanted to pursue music since I was 16. When I was in high school, I was playing the guitar. So I was thinking, I wanted to do rock back then. I wanted to get into EDM, and then slowly I developed into hip-hop. But that was like after high school, starting to like really listen to a lot of hip hop, and my friends listened to a lot of hip hop so by default I was around it. Then I started like catching up to it, and I realized, yo, this is a great channel if you want to like express something intellectual in a song. Hip hop is the best way to do it, because like most songs are emotional and you have like a one paragraph and that's the whole song. But with hip hop, you can just have like pages upon pages of lyrics in one song. So you want to say something that's very intellectual and build up a case. It's the only genre basically that you can like really successfully do it. You know. So you're like asking me about concepts and Hasidus and what I learned. Like, I think you can go really deeper into like the ins and outs of a certain like message or experience in life. You know.
After high school, what was your next move?
Yeshiva life. I went to study some Torah for 9 months in New York. Months in New York, mostly. Then I went a little bit to Brooklyn also.
Why did you make that decision?
Well, I started learning more about Torah and the Hasidus, so I realized that I have a lot that I didn't know, you know. And I was always looking for the truth, and I was like, okay, I think that there is something here, and I need to go and explore more of it.
Did you find that truth?
I found some of it for sure. Like even within the Jewish world, like you have to like filter out. Like you have to filter because people are, you have the Torah, which is very pure and very like that's holiness. But then people internalize the Torah and then convey things and sometimes not act always the same, congruent with the teachings of Torah. So you gotta like separate. Okay, these are people that are like human, that will make mistakes or will like teach you Torah that might not be the best like way to present it, or may act in a way that's not very like holy. So you gotta filter out like what's real and what's not. Or sometimes people are coming up like dressed to you like dress everything in Torah knowledge, but everything they're saying is like using their Torah to judge you or using that. And you gotta be smart and you gotta have experience to realize, okay, so this is what's holy and this is what's not, and then to teach and be the influencer and not the influenced. Yeah.
When did Judah Fire begin?
Judah Fire. That concept began like about six years ago. My friend always used to shout at you, Judah Fire. Shout out Jimmy.
Where did that name come from?
Well, he would used to like shout out, like my friend would always like, basically like my roommate. And he would always shout it out. He was just like this goofy guy, so it's Judah Fire, Judah Fire. It's like, and that catched down in my head. And then I realized, there's a message behind Judah Fire. Like, the fire of the tribe of Judah, and Judah kind of represents the Messiah. The Messiah is going to come from the tribe of Judah, and fire is like the dimension of Hasidus, because the Torah is referred to as water and as fire. Water is like the simple and like the revealed explanation of Torah, and like fire is the hidden aspect. So that's like Kabbalah and Hasidus. So I'm all about the Hasidus aspect of the Torah, so I'm fire. And then like bringing the Messiah through the music, that's Judah.
Did you go to yeshiva where you had the opportunity to study Hasidut?
Yeah, later on. Not the first time when I was right after high school, but then I came back. I went to Hadar Torah in Crown Heights. I went there for like close to 3 months.
That was after the first 9-month yeshiva?
Yeah, that was like a few years later. Maybe 3 years or 4 years later.
During your first yeshiva experience, were you developing your musical career?
No. Not right after high school. I wasn't. I was just focused on the studies. But then when I went to the Hasidic yeshiva, the Lubavitch one, I did like work on productions. Back then I was like focusing on mixing and mastering and doing my own like beats and like made some EDM and some hip hop.
What software equipment were you using?
I would use FL Studio. Yeah, and the setup I have here, and like
Are some of those original tracks published now?
my beats. Yeah, I have one beat. Lechatchila River. I did publish it on SoundCloud. Yeah, find it on SoundCloud. You can check it out. It's basically like 200, 300 year old nigun, like a melody that I turned into, like, modernized it to feel like that you like still in like the present. You're still in like 2019 or whatever, and but still like 300 years ago. That's staying like home.
What was the concept? Why would that be important to make music like that? Jewish electronic dance music.
Well, I couldn't relate to Jewish music, honestly. I'm like a Baal Tshuva. I come from an outside world. Like, it's the type of music I listen to, and then like I want to listen to like the Jewish music that's out there, but for me, just like I don't connect to it, and I feel like there's like an open space, like a vacuum that is screaming to be filled, and so like I realized, God put me in a place where I had to come from a place where I didn't know a lot, and then to a place where I developed to know more and to change. So now, while you're changing, you already have the habits of the old, and you're already programmed to like certain things. So now, for me, I'm not gonna fight that. I'm not gonna fight my nature and everything. I'm gonna use it, try and see how I can use it to benefit. So if I grew up with hip hop, I don't want to reject hip hop. I want to see that. Let me use that as a medium of expression. That God put me in this position, like to be able to be influenced by hip hop. So let me not negate and kind of rebel against like God's plan. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm religious, I'm not doing this anymore, and it's like it hurts to hear that, because it's like God put you in these situations for you to then, if you got coming out of these situations, then use the talents and the skills that you've learned, because God put you there, and then so use it. Otherwise, like, okay, you went through that experience, and now you're not gonna take that as a benefit for the world and express it to the world. You're like the gift that God gave you, like, yeah.
Between Muncie and Crown Heights, what were you doing during these 2.5, 3 years? And where were you?
Tucson, Arizona. I was doing some college in Tucson and still working a little bit on music, just working on the side, living my life kind of thing. Yeah.
Did you start developing a dream or a vision, goal at that point?
Yeah, it was always about the music, but the why changed. So I was in high school, and like I was just picking up the guitar, and I wanted to be a rock star and everything. And that was just more like, oh, I'm gonna have everybody look at me, and I'm gonna look very cool in front of everybody, and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, and I would be like, yeah, And then you mature and you learn more, and you realize you want it not to be about you. And that's good. I don't go by Rony, because I don't want to be about me. Judah Fire is like, this is my mission. Bring in the Judah and the fire, like the Messiah through the Hasidus, right? So it's not about me, and that keeps me focused. Like, let me make sure that my music is going to benefit the world and bring the Messiah closer.
That's good. That's your mission statement today.
Yeah, that's my mission statement. Bringing the Messiah through the music.
So you did the Crown Heights Hadar HaTorah program.
Yeah.
For
3 months, close to 3 months.
After that, did you continue college?
Yeah, I continued college a little bit. I was learning psychology, but then I quit because I realized, I learned so much in Hasidus that I realized I didn't really want to learn psychology. I actually wanted the Hasidus all along, but I didn't know that that's what I wanted. So I was like, oh, psychology is very close to that, or something like that. I thought in my head.
Did your family support your yeshiva years?
My family had mixed feelings about it. Yeah, I mean, they were just like they were afraid that I'm not gonna lose myself and that I'm gonna be good. But once they saw that like it's still the same me, but like that I'm if anything refining myself. They see that like Rony is still Rony. I didn't lose my son or something like that. Then they chilled out, and then they started to you know kind of learn from me in a way, just see what I'm doing and ask me questions. Why you doing this or that or like
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Now tell us your transition from Tucson to Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. That was a year ago. I just decided, it's time for me to move. I always I wanted to move for several years, but then every time there was a different excuse why I didn't, I'm like, yo, I want to find me I want to be like in a Jewish community where you have like synagogues everywhere, kosher food everywhere. And like we didn't have that in Tucson. We had like a very small that type of Jewish community, where you can go to shul there, one like kosher deli in the whole city. Yeah. So I wanted to see if I can marry a Jewish woman and if I can get connected with other Jewish musicians and be around the Jewish community and be out of the desert. It's very hot over there. Yeah.
What was it like the first week, the first month? Where did you stay? How did you find yourself?
It was kind of pretty smooth. I was driving my car here. I wasn't sure what's gonna happen, and somebody owed me money that was supposed to be my first year's rent. I mean, not years, sorry, it's first month rent, and they didn't pay me that money. And I was like, okay, I'm still going. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I go there and God just connected me to all the right people for it to be a smooth transition. And I met these people, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for somebody." I was like, "I'm looking for, just something cheap right now, like a couch and everything." It's like that's what we're looking for, and they were like, "Okay, let's talk." And we set up a good price, and it was smooth transition, from the beginning.
How did you know which synagogue to try out or end up going to?
I didn't. I just tried a bunch of synagogues, and then when I walked into Beis Betzalel, my soul was just connected right away to just for reasons that are beyond intellectual. I just felt like this is where my home is. My neshama feels good here. That didn't feel the same in different shuls. So it just clicked.
Did you have a chance to try out the Happy Minyan shul?
Yeah, I did. It's chill. Yeah, I like it. I like the singing and the chazan. Very cool.
And any Sephardic shuls?
Yeah, my roommates go to Da'at Torah, so sometimes I would go there. Or Chabad Persian Youth, which is Sephardi and Chabad at the same time. Yeah.
So yeah, please.
I'm just saying the CPY. Yeah.
So at this point, were you working? And were you working on your music as well?
Yeah, I was supervising for kashrut to making sure that certain restaurants are kosher. So I was just supervising the restaurants. That was my work, and then working on music on the side.
Can you give us some of your musical milestones in the past year, 2 years?
What do you mean milestones?
Projects you've released or that you've been working on or that you've been inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, I On the Road to Zion that I did with Antar and John Terry. That's a good song. We did it back in Tucson, but then I released it when I was already here in Los Angeles. And honestly, all my good stuff and my best stuff are still behind the scenes. I'm just trying to organize everything to be right, and I'm still working on new projects. So I'm just trying to be strategic about it. So I'm not putting anything out really. I do give people like my music, just like here, listen to it, but I'm not releasing it.
Since you did the L'Tchilat Hariber
Yeah.
remix, have you made other Jewish EDM tracks
Hmm.
similar to that?
Yeah, I do. I have it in my laptop. Yeah, I have some. I have a bunch that I did. Yeah, I had a bunch that I did, and it's cool. Like that was what I wanted. Wanted to be a DJ and like a producer. Like, cause I went to raves and it was so much fun. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And then like my computer crashed. And I didn't have the funds to buy a new computer, and I'm like, I gotta work on music though. I can't stop. I was in this mindset that I'm like, I gotta keep going and keep doing music. Like I gotta hustle it up. I'm like, but I can't do this. So let me start write lyrics. That's how I started rapping. Cause like my computer was broken, so I was like, let me start writing lyrics. And now I like realized, I can do good on this. I can be good with this.
Would you describe your music as Jewish rap?
You can call it. You can call it that. You can call it a lot of names. It's hard to be precise. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, you can call it just rap. But I do have like the goal of like having some kind of messianic feel to the rap, or higher consciousness to the rap. You know. And since I'm Jewish, it has to be Jewish because this is who I am. So you can call it Jewish rap. You can call it higher consciousness. You can call it just rap. Just shoot a fire. Whatever.
Are you gonna make any more Jewish EDM tracks?
Maybe I don't know. I'm focusing more on the rap. I'm focusing more on that. Like, yeah, I don't wanna. I don't wanna put my energies into different places at the same time, because then I don't want one project to take me away from another. Although I am working on like just for fun on like a beat right now or whatever, like an EDM track, but that's just like kind of like a hobby, and but not what I'm going to. But hey, if that song turns out to be awesome, then I'll put my own lyrics on it and it'll be like, or just release it, whatever. Why not?
Have you been to any Jewish music festivals?
I know Junity was having some concerts that I was performing in. But other than that, yeah, those are the festivals I was in, the Junity festivals.
How many years?
There was a festival. There were like, I think I've been around two of them. One was like a year ago, and another one was maybe 3 years ago. And then I also performed in like rallies and stuff. But yeah.
What's the vision now? What's the goal in a year, music career-wise?
In a year, the goal is to have already be known in a year. Be already like finished with all these projects and a lot of new projects to like reach like enough of my potential to be able to, for the world to start seeing like, oh, this is like healing me, or this is helping me out, and I want more of what he's bringing.
Then would you consider a major record label offer?
Yeah, I'm open to it as long as it's decent. It's gotta be decent, you know. And I'm not big on authority. So like if I'm an artist, if I want to be creative, like don't tell me. Try and tell me don't tell me what to do. Like I gotta do my thing, man. You can't limit like an artist. You can't be like rap about this but not this or not. No.
Or not to perform on Shabbat?
Oh, for sure. That's not even a question. Like, what's the point of my music if I don't perform on Shabbat? It's like contradictory. I don't know. It's no point. Yeah.
Do you do your own mixing and mastering now?
No. There's a couple tracks I remaster. If I bring in like my producer right now, Jay Anthony, he like I go to him to mix and master stuff for me. Sometimes I remaster stuff because I know the program, know what. Cause I don't want to go back to him and bother him again, like every time for small details if I can do it myself. Yeah.
Where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on Instagram. My Instagram is lit. I like my Instagram. It's the main thing I want to promote is my Instagram. And then you have my YouTube link on my Instagram. I go by Judah Fire, Judah with a H, Judah space Fire, Fire.
Before we sign off, what's one piece of advice so far up to this point in your life that you want to share?
Piece of advice. When negativity is thrown at you and when you see that you're put in certain like challenges, that to see if you can be the influencer and not the influence. So if you're around negativity, try and be that light. And if you have hate come to you, then try and be that light also to, like bring out that unconditional compassion.
Thanks so much, Judah Fire, here in our
Thank you, Nissim.
Listen Nissim interview. We'll be sure to promote your music, and you guys should go check it out and let us know what you think in the comments below. Signing off, I'm Nissim. Kol Tuv.
Bye. Shalom. Peace.